Good morning, students. And in your last class, we have done the chemistry chapter. That means chemical reactions and equations we have completed. Okay. If you have a reduced portion, chemical reactions and equations is not there. If not, in the sense we have done that also. So you can study that also. Okay. So now the next topic which we are going to start is in your biology, life process. The next topic which we are going to discuss today is biology. So basically we know in biology what we are going to discuss about is biology is nothing but studying of living organisms, studying about the living organisms, whether it is plants or animals or human beings. So all that is considered under your biology itself. So now we are going to start with a chapter called life process. What is life process will tell you. See, process in the sense there are different types of functioning is being taken place. As we know, cell, all cell is nothing but called as tissues together nothing but called as your organ. So each cell we know, if you take from the cell itself, it is going to have different structure and function which is going to do. Now each cell is doing different sort of function in the sense, and that functioning which has to maintain in our body is nothing but called as process. The different types of functioning which has been taken place in the body and to sustain their life is nothing but called as life processes. If a body is said to be as if it is doing some sort of work, if it is not doing some sort of work, that doesn't decide the person is dead or the person is in unconscious. You can easily tell them, right? If they are doing any sort of work in the sense they are very smart, they're very active, all that can be taken place by the processes which has been undertaken in our body. Whether we know, we have already studied about how do we decide. If any of the textbook, if you say the basic question, what you can see is what is living things and what is non-living things. How will you define what is living and what is non-living things? The organism which has life are called as living things, and the organism which doesn't have life are nothing but called as non-living things. Under that we have growth, movement, respiration, breathing, all that comes under that, right? So basically that only we are going to discuss in this chapter. So growth in the sense we know from the born, still now we are in the same position. No, from the stage 1 to stage 2, we have many changes in our body which has been undertaken. Not only that, and apart from that, there are some other movement also which has been taken place. See, if you want to have some nutritious food, or if you want to have food in the sense you have to earn. By sitting in one place, you can't earn, you have to work for it. We are going to depend independently or directly, we are going to depend on other organisms for our nutrition. So for each and everything of the process which has been undertaken in our body is been maintaining. Why we had different processes which has been undertaken in our body is to maintain our body, to maintain and to sustain our life. We have different types of process which has been undertaken. Yes, so under that we have growth, as I told you, and we have movement which has been taken place. Ma'am, plants doesn't move, no, then how do we consider that to be as living organism? Why plants is considered to be as living organism? Even the movement has been taken place in the plants also. Now for not only few plants children, all other plants also. So if you take, see, this is a wall. If a plant has been grown here, there is obstruction here where the plant cannot grow in the sense, it doesn't stop here. It takes a diversion and starts growing towards the other part, right? So that is a movement which has been taken place. The obstructed place, leaving that the plant is not stopped here only their growth. So it has to grow further in the sense the movement has been taken place. Correct? Even that has been taken place in plants. As you know, sunflower, it starts moving according to the sunlight. So movement which has been taken place in plant. Touch me not plant, if you take sundews, there is a movement which has been taken place. So even plants, animals, living organisms are considered to be as living organism in the sense there are different types of process which has been undertaken. And from different types of process which has been undertaken in the sense, it doesn't mean that if you're sitting in a class, you're just sitting and you feel asleep. At that point of time, it doesn't mean that you are dead. Even at that point of time, while sitting position also, it is maintained in your body. In that position, it is maintained. There are some other different types of processes which has been taken place in your body to that maintain job what you're doing. And that means you're sitting, no? To maintain that also, you need to take some other process which has been taken place in your body to show even for that, for sitting also you need some energy, for walking you need some energy, and what is it, to run you need some sort of energies. And when you sleep also, ma'am, when we sleep completely, our body is completely rest, no. You people know that your body is rest, or that means that you are dead at that point of time. Later when morning comes, you will be alive at that point of time. No, that doesn't mean like that. When you are sleeping also, you can think that your brain, see, it starts dreaming and it is doing some sort of work, right? So if it is doing some sort of work, in the sense it requires energy. How you get that energy? There are different types of process which has been undertaken in our body to get different sort of energies in our body. So not only while sitting or standing or while sleeping, you get different sort of process should be undertaken in our body to maintain our life, is nothing but called as life process. The different types of processes which is undertaken in our body to maintain our life is nothing but called as life processes. So what are the different types of processes? The different types of processes: nutrition, next is respiration, next is transportation, next thing is excretion, and next one is reproduction. So according reproduction, you have in detail in other chapter. In your volume 2, you have how do organisms reproduce. Regarding reproduction, we will be studying in detail in your next chapter. So in this section, that means in this chapter, we are going to discuss about nutrition, respiration, transportation and excretion. Both plants as well as unicellular organism as well as multicellular organisms we are going to discuss. See, in unicellular organisms, what happens? Okay, ma'am, in our body, there are different types of organ where it is doing different sort of work and we are doing different types of process. Even in plants also, there are different types of organs. That means whether it is your xylem, phloem, or whether different types of seed tubes, companion cells, all that which has been present is doing different sort of work, even in plants. For exchange of gases, they have stomata too. How about unicellular organisms? See, unicellular organisms, the process is very easy and simple because they don't have specific organ to perform all these types of process. See, in plants and animals, they are all multicellular organisms. Why they are multicellular? In the sense, they are all made up of different types of cells. In the sense, we already know cell is a basic structural functional unit. Means each cell is having different structure and different function. In the sense, each one has to do different sort of work. But in unicellular organisms, that doesn't happen. Why? Because this unicellular organisms will not have a specific organ to perform all this sort of functioning in our body, in the unicellular organisms. So the process is very easy and simple. But in multicellular organisms, there are different types of process which has been taken by different types of organs and cell structures. So you people have to know all regarding that. So that is what is nothing but called as your life processes. So here, what are the different types of processes? As I told you, nutrition, respiration, transportation, excretion. So right now we are going to discuss about nutrition. What is nutrition? See, our body has enough quantity of nutrients. The body intaking of enough quantity of nutrients to maintain our life or to sustain our life is nothing but called as nutrition. The body intaking of food is nothing but called as nutrition. The body intaking of food is nothing but called as nutrition. But this nutrition, why do they need nutrition? In the sense, they have to sustain their life. They have to do different sort of work and functioning should be taken place. So for all that, nutrition is the main thing what exactly it should be required. Now as I told you, the body requires a different types of nutrients. What is this nutrients will tell you is, the nutrients are carbohydrates, proteins, vitamins, minerals, fats and lipids. So these are the different types of nutrients we people know. Means nutrition is nothing but different types of nutrients intaken in our food is nothing but called as nutrition. So what is that nutrients, ma'am? What exactly you are telling? Intaking of different types of nutrients in our food. See, our food doesn't contain only carbohydrate, only protein, only vitamin. So different types of food items will have different types of nutrients present in it. Why we have to have different types of food items is that is for this purpose in the sense. One food have only one type of nutrients, the other one will have one type of nutrients. Now we require all these nutrients in our body. So we have to consume different varieties of food in our diet. So we have to consume different types of nutrients in our diet that is helpful to maintain our body. So now what are the different types of nutrients? As I told you, carbohydrates, proteins, vitamins, minerals, fats and lipids. So carbohydrates, if we take, they are nothing but called as energy giving food. They are nothing but called as energy giving food. You people would have heard this all in your 6th or 7th standard only, children. Okay, so energy giving food. So energy giving food in the sense instant energy giver. For example, they are nothing but called as your glucose and your glycogen. Glycogen, the instant energy giving food, like you have rice, wheat, corn, potatoes. These are all very good examples for your carbohydrates. So what is a carbohydrate work is, that is nothing but called as I told you, they are nothing but called as energy giving food. And you people know that whenever the athletics and all, or if you are very tired at that point of time, immediately they put glucose in the water and give it to you. Means they are all instant energy giver. And what is it? Chocolates and all, no, instant energy giving food for your body. So that is your carbohydrates. Next, if you take proteins, we know proteins, what is the consumption of proteins is muscle building, bone buildings and all. Muscle building is being brought about by your bodybuilding foods. Okay. Bodybuilding foods. Bodybuilders. So bodybuilders are proteins. Example for bodybuilders, you can take meat, chicken, egg. So all that are considered to be as proteins. And vitamins, we know all the fruits and vegetables to build up your, what is that, which fights against diseases. Vitamins if you take, which fights against your diseases, which increases your immunity level if you take vitamins, which is going to build up your immunity level. So under that we have your fruits, vegetables. So all that comes under your vitamins. Next, minerals, we know minerals are like iron, which is good for your blood, and calcium for bones, teeth. So phosphate, magnesium, sodium, all that comes under your minerals, which are making iron. As you know, hemoglobin will consist of your iron component, which are highly rich in oxygen supplied to your body. So that is brought about by your mineral. Then calcium also, as we know, your bones is very strong in the sense, if your calcium component is very good in your body, you can maintain your bones strong. Teeth also, phosphate and calcium, which is strong. So this is all being brought about by your minerals. Fats also, ma'am, do you think that fat also is a nutrient to our body? Yes, even fats also. See, when carbohydrate is giving instant energy in the sense, if that is insufficient in your body, the fats is the energy storer. They store their energy. Whenever the body requires energy, the fats will help in giving energy. So that is what is the work of fats. So when the fats or lipid content is excess in our body, that leads to obesity, as we know. Even fats also should be present in our body. Even that should be taken in our diet. Even that should be taken in our diet as a good nutrients. Okay, so these are the different types of nutrients taken in our food. The process is nothing but called as your nutrition. The body intaking of nutrients in our food to maintain or sustain your life is nothing but called as nutrition. Now for nutrients only I told you so many things. That means what are the different types of nutrients in the sense? Carbohydrates, proteins, vitamins, minerals, fats, all these things. Carbohydrate food items, I think we take rice, chapati, wheat, jowar, all that are highly rich in your carbohydrates, which are energy giving food, children. Instant energy giving food also you can take as your carbohydrate, that is your glucose and glycogen. Then you have proteins, so they are called as bodybuilders, means your muscle which are strong. You can see that at that point of time, meat, chicken, when the person who is going at your homes, if some persons are going for a gym and all, no, you can see they eat chicken, fish, or what is that, egg and all more for bodybuilding. Then vitamins are nothing but which fights against immunity. means which is going to increase your immunity level in your body. So that is your fruits and vegetables. As we know, vitamins now, that means citrus acid content, vitamin C, you have to take vitamin B, vitamin B12, many things are there children, vitamin A, vitamin K, all. Then minerals which are highly rich, minerals like iron, calcium, phosphate, sodium, which iron is good for your blood, calcium is good for your bones. So all that, spinach, even that also considered to be as minerals component, means sopo. Then fats and lipids component, you can say cheese, ghee, butter, etc. All that comes under your fatty component. Even that should be intaken in our body, which is good for your health. Okay. Now, apart from this, now nutrition doesn't stop here. I just told you what are the nutrients taken in our body. Now, there is two ways of nutrients. There are different types of nutrition in our body. The two different mode of nutrition are. There are different types of nutrition in our body. The different types of nutrition are modes of nutrition. Modes of nutrition. One is autotrophic nutrition. One more thing is heterotrophic nutrition. What are called as autotrophic nutrition? See, nutrition doesn't mean that only one type of food varieties or the nutrients has been taken place in our body. The nutrition only is being classified into two different types. One is autotrophic nutrition and one more thing is heterotrophic nutrition. So let me define you what is autotrophic nutrition. Auto is nothing but called as self. Tropic is nothing but called as synthesis. Means the organisms which synthesize its own food. Auto is nothing but called as self. Tropic is nothing but called as to synthesize or to prepare. Nutrition, it's a type of nutrients. If an organism has to get nutrients, in the sense, it should prepare its own food. It is not going to depend on any other organism for the better nutrition. And such kind of organisms are called as autotrophic organisms, or called as autotrophs, are nothing but called as autotrophs. Nothing but called as your autotrophs, means the organisms which is going to prepare their own food or which is going to synthesize its own food. That is what is called as self. Auto, self, to prepare or to synthesize its own food is nothing but called as autotrophic nutrition. So example for autotrophic nutrition is your green plants, a very good example for your autotrophic mode of nutrition. Why? Because as plants prepares their own food. From the beginning we are studying plants prepare their own food by the process called photosynthesis, isn't it? Yes, so that is a very good example for your autotrophic mode of nutrition. Now, heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Hetero is nothing but called as other. Trophic is nothing but called as synthesis or to prepare. That means heterotrophic mode of nutrition. The organisms which is going to depend on other organisms for their better nutrition. Heterotrophic mode of nutrition are nothing but the organism which is going to depend on other organism for their better nutrition are nothing but called as heterotrophic mode of nutrition. So heterotrophic mode of nutrition, we can see human beings and animals are very good example for heterotrophic mode of nutrition. And it doesn't stop over there only, it doesn't stop over there only, children. See, heterotrophic mode of nutrition in the sense the organism is going to depend on other organisms. And in that also there is division. The organism only which is going to depend on plants are called as herbivorous. The organisms which is going to depend on flesh of other organisms are nothing but called as carnivorous. The organism which is going to depend both on plants and animals are called as your omnivorous. And we have scavengers which is going to depend on dead and decayed part of an organisms, and we have decomposers. So these are all the different types of mode of nutrition taken place in heterotrophic organisms, and they're also called as heterotrophs. They are nothing but called as heterotrophs. So autotrophs are the organisms which is going to prepare their own food. Green plants is very good example for your autotrophic mode of nutrition. Heterotrophic mode of nutrition are nothing but the organisms which is going to depend on other organisms. As I told you, under that also there is a division. The organism which only feed on, take better nutrition only from plants, herbivorous. They take better nutrition only for flesh of other animals, carnivorous. Which take better nutrition on both plants and animals, we are called as omnivorous. And the organisms are there which is going to feed on dead and decayed part of an organisms are nothing but called as scavengers. And the organisms which is going to, if you take mushroom and all, they are called as decomposers. Where the dead and decayed, all that waste it has been there they start cultivating. They get nutrient by that organisms. So they are called as your decomposers. So a heterotrophic mode of nutrition only is being divided into different types. So now in detail we are going to discuss about autotrophic mode of nutrition. We know autotrophic nutrition, green plants are very good example. Green plants are very good example for your autotrophic mode of nutrition by the process called photosynthesis. Am I right? By the process called photosynthesis. We know what is a photosynthesis is nothing but green plants by the pigment called chlorophyll. Green plants will observe the sunlight and they start preparing their food. Is nothing but called as photosynthesis. Green plants prepares their own food with the presence of chlorophyll and sunlight. They prepare their food is nothing but called as photosynthesis. It's a process which has been taken place. Now how it has been taken place? We know photosynthesis is taken place in green plants. Now, how it has been taken place? So, how autotrophic mode of nutrition is taken place in green plants, we are going to discuss. So, how the mode of nutrition, that means heterotrophic mode of nutrition taken place in green plants, we have to discuss. So, in green plants, I have to tell you that is what the process called photosynthesis, autotrophic nutrition. So example, as I told you, green plants by the process called photosynthesis. Now how this photosynthesis is being taken place, that is what we have to discuss. Now let me write the equation how it has been taken place. What do plant require, children? For the process of photosynthesis, what do plant require? What leave out? What we leave out? Carbon dioxide. Not only this, and they require water. By the presence of chlorophyll, will absorb sunlight to give you glucose, plus it leaves out oxygen and energy. This is a process which has been taken place. Even I have to write water too. Even I have to write H2O and energy. So this is what the process which has been taken place in your photosynthesis. Green plants means autotrophs, the organisms which prepares their own food by the process called photosynthesis. How it is taken place? We leave out carbon dioxide, that means plants intake that carbon dioxide with the presence of water from the soil, and by the presence of chlorophyll pigment they absorb the sunlight, and that sunlight which gets converted into carbohydrates, that is nothing but called as your glucose. Oxygen is released from plants and water and energy is released in your photosynthesis process. Now what are the 3 steps which has been taken place in this photosynthesis? What are the 3 steps which has been taken place in this step in photosynthesis is, see, with the presence of chlorophyll, by the presence of chlorophyll, they absorb sunlight, or absorption of sunlight takes place by the presence of chlorophyll. It's of your sentence, however you can write, by presence of chlorophyll they absorb sunlight, or sunlight is absorbed with the presence of chlorophyll, and that light energy, whatever the light is being present, and this light energy will get converted into chemical energy, will get converted into chemical energy, where splitting of water molecules. You can see there is a water in your reactant. In this water will get splitted up into, splitting of water into hydrogen and oxygen. You can see hydrogen is splitted up to your carbohydrate component and oxygen is splitted out. So there is a splitting of this water molecules into hydrogen and oxygen is being taken place. And the third step is, you can see that carbohydrates, that means carbon dioxide converts into carbohydrates. Carbon dioxide gets converted into carbohydrates. You can see this carbon dioxide is getting converted into carbohydrate. It's a glucose, so it's a carbohydrate. So what happens in your photosynthesis process? We know that photosynthesis is a process which has been taken place in plants, right? Now how and what it is being taken place? See, this is a process. First, what happens is, by the presence of chlorophyll pigment, plants will absorb the sunlight. Okay. Then this light energy what has been observed will get converted into chemical energy, and splitting up of water molecules into hydrogen and oxygen takes place. Then the third one is, whatever the carbon dioxide which has been present will get converted into your carbohydrates, or will get reduced into, carbon dioxide will get reduced into your carbohydrates. So these are the three steps which has been taken place. Now how it is being taken place? We have to take a cut and take a cross section of the leaf. See, this is your leaf. Any leaf, okay, I'm just drawing this. So when you cut this and take a cross section of this leaf, take that and peel it and observe under the microscope, you can see what is the structure which has been obtained. By that structure, the process of photosynthesis can be taken place. Means inside that, means leaf, we know it is called as kitchen of the plant. So inside that there is a cell organelles which has been present, which is going to perform the functions in your autotrophic nutrition. So how that is being done, that is what we have to discuss now. So now, how is this process has been taken place in the sense? I have to draw the diagram. And for the exam point of view, the diagram is not there. So when you cut and cross section of the leaf, so what exactly has been taking place, let me show you. See, there is the outer covering, very thin covering is there, nothing but called as cuticle. Then you have a thick covering, upper epidermis. Then you have guard cells. Then you have guard cells. Then again you have a thin layer. So it should not be empty, right? It should look somewhat colorful. So I'm just making a design, not the design children. When you observe under the microscope, this is what the structure, what exactly you can see. So now let me label it. So for all that empty places, you just dot like structures. I'll tell you what exactly it is. Actually, I have to keep that green dots actually, but I gave that green dot in that bigger size, so I am writing in this. Okay, let me label now. So the upper layer is nothing but called as cuticle, which is waxy coated. And the thin layer, what you can see is nothing but called as a thin layer, thick layer will be present, nothing but called as upper epidermis. A skin layer, epidermis, dermis, skin. Dermatologist who is going to treat on skin. So dermis is nothing but called as a skin layer. Next we have, this is nothing but called as your guard cells. Next you have a small dot like structures. What I have represented is nothing but called as chloroplast. Chloroplast. Then you have your nucleus, a green color dotted which I have represented, nucleus. And you have lower epidermis. And this region is nothing but called as stomata. Stroma I'll write because it is single, only one it is there, singular, so stroma. Plurals it is in the sense stomata. Okay, so this is how, and here you have water and carbon dioxide which has been present. So what happens is, see what is the work of each individual, and this whole part from your upper epidermis to lower epidermis, whatever you have, that region is called as mesophiles. Mesophiles, the exact photosynthesis process takes place. Now what exactly happens here is, see as we know, I have rubbed the equation now. So carbon dioxide with the presence of water and sunlight, it gets converted into C6H12O6 glucose plus oxygen plus water. So this is what it takes place with the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll. This is the equation, right? So how it takes place in the sense, see we have upper layer is nothing but called as cuticle. One by one let me tell you. Cuticle, which is a waxy coated substance which prevents the plants from excess water loss. Waxy coated substance which prevents from water loss. Which prevents from water loss, so it is waxy coated. Next you have upper epidermis and lower epidermis. So upper epidermis and lower epidermis, it's a layer of skin which is going to protect your inner cells, that's all. It's epidermis, skin layer which is going to protect your inner cells, cell organelles, and you have guard cells. Inside that you have your chloroplast, a green color dot-like structures. Actually this here I have mentioned with brown. So a dot-like structure, fully completely here what all you can see is nothing but called as your chloroplast, where exact photosynthesis takes place. Where you know chlorophyll is a pigment. So by that photosynthesis takes place. Where? So that is in your chloroplast only your exact photosynthesis will be taken place. And we know nucleus is nothing but called as, we have already studied, which is going to act as a brain of the nucleus. Sorry, brain of the cell. Nucleus is going to act as the brain of the cell. Means all the control and coordination of the cell is being brought about by your nucleus. So that is the work of the nucleus. Then you have lower epidermis. Then you have cuticle layer. Here, backside of the leaves, you can see a tiny opening which has been present. Nothing but called as stomata. For exchange of gases, we people know which is present in the backside of the leaves, which cannot be seen through your naked eyes, can be seen only with your microscopes. For what reason? For exchange of gases. So that is what I have represented here. What happens in your stomatal region is, see, once the stomatal region, that means it will be just like a kidney shaped bean, just like this it is present. So once it is open, see this region will be completely vacant. So it will be just like this. See, once they require carbon dioxide, in the sense they just open and take in the carbon dioxide, that means the cell will remain bulged. It will remain opened like this. See, whenever they require carbon dioxide, the carbon dioxide is entered inside, so it becomes bulged. Okay. Once they don't require oxygen, during the process, you know that the oxygen is let out. So at that point of time, you can see it becomes completely closed. Means the cell becomes completely shrink. Once they require carbon dioxide, it remains open and the cell will remain bulged. Once they don't require oxygen, they have to throw out that oxygen and that cell organelle. That means the cell will remain completely shrink. So it looks like this. So this is your open stomata. Closed stomata is completely closed. Just like this, it is completely closed. So there what happens when the carbon dioxide or water which has been entering inside your stomatal region, by the chloroplast, the photosynthesis process takes place and that carbon dioxide will get converted into carbohydrates and the water molecules will get split up into hydrogen and oxygen. The oxygen which is not required will get letted off. At that point of time, the cell will remain completely shrinked. Means it closes. Once they require carbon dioxide, the stomatal region opens. Once they don't require oxygen, it remains closed. So this is what the autotrophic mode of nutrition takes place in your plants. By the process called photosynthesis, I told there are the 3 events which is being taken place in your photosynthesis. What is it? They absorb sunlight with the presence of chlorophyll. Next one, what happens is light energy will get converted into chemical energy and the water gets split up into hydrogen and oxygen. And the third step is what exactly happens is the carbon dioxide will get converted into carbohydrates. So how it takes place, when you cut and take a cross section of the leaf, this is what the structure it looks. You have cuticle, upper epidermis, lower epidermis, guard cells, chloroplast and nucleus, where your photosynthesis takes place exactly in your chloroplast. Absorption of sunlight takes place and the carbon dioxide and water molecules will get splitted up and get converted into your glucose molecule and they leave out oxygen and that is what we people inhale. So this is how the autotrophic mode of nutrition takes place in your green plants. That doesn't happen in mushroom. That doesn't happen in mushroom and all. Okay, agaricus, mushroom and all, that doesn't happen. And next, in unicellular organism, they don't have specific organ as I told you. It's just a process of diffusion takes place. In unicellular organisms, what exactly happens is if you take amoeba, in unicellular organisms, if you take amoeba, you can see it is not having specific structure. So this is nothing but called as your pseudopodia. So by this pseudopodia, what exactly happens? Nothing but called as false feet. By this false feet, whatever the nutrient means which has been present in the atmosphere will be taken up by the pseudopodia. They grab it. See, this is a nutrient which is present in the atmosphere. They just grab this and take it inside and the process of diffusion has been taken place. From the region of higher concentration to the region of lower concentration by the process called diffusion has been taken place in unicellular organisms. And if you take paramecium, you can see paramecium. It has a hair-like structure, nothing but called as cilia for the moment to take up the nutrient. And if you take flagella, euglena, there's a flagella which has been present. For here it is cilia and it is flagella. So by this, they take the moment and take enough quantity of nutrients and the process is nothing but same, diffusion process. From the region of higher concentration to the region of lower concentration, the required quantity of material is taken inside. That is what it takes place in unicellular organisms. But in multicellular organisms, it's a huge process which has been taken place. So let me discuss about your heterotrophic mode of nutrition in your next class. So in this section, I have told only about your autotrophic mode of nutrition in your green plants which has been taken place. Okay. Any doubts if you have, please repeat the video again. Still more doubts if you have, when you get your classwork for correction, you can come, the people will be here only, you can take a discussion regarding that and clarify all your doubts. Okay. Thank you children, be safe.